What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to FBA Capital. And today I'm bringing you guys another daily range breakdown on US30. So let's get right on into the video. So without further ado, actually before I get into this, I want to take you guys to the higher time frame. I want to show you guys something that's happening this week. So as of right now, if you watched the previous market breakdown for the week, I was anticipating price to potentially come down on the daily time frame and come down to this area here. And as you can see, price today we had a major drop. But I want you guys to keep in mind that we had this major drop, but look what it did. It cleared the liquidity of all these lows. Cleared the liquidity below this low, cleared the liquidity below this low. It didn't clear this liquidity, but look what it did do. It still withheld that order block on the daily time frame. Now let's go on to the weekly. Look at the weekly. There is a high chance as of right now that this down here, this low, could potentially be the low of the week, because due to further with my analysis and just with all the data I have on US30, a lot of the time the lows and highs of the week are made on Monday through Friday. So a lot of the time Monday makes the lower high of the week, and Friday tends to have the high or low of the week also, because it trends. So with the way this is, the fact that I see that price cleared all these lows on the daily and weekly and made this low after tapping into, what is this, almost 33,000, and now we're rejecting and holding above this daily order block. Now we come back to daily, we're holding above this order block. There's still a chance now that potentially with this week we could still have a push to the top side. So what I'm potentially going to be anticipating is looking for a potential little reversal. As if you see this 38.20% that I drew from this low of just today's daily candle to the high of it, you can see that we could potentially have this 38.20% retracement to continue even higher. And even if we don't get that 38.20% retracement, let's also look at what else. If we get the normal fib, let's see, let's just bring the 70 point all the way right here. We got the three levels that are all the way down here that we could potentially retrace to also. So that's just something I wanted to show you guys. And if you come to the monthly, you see the monthly candle has also broken all the wicks and all these lows. So there is a chance that now we pull the fib from this low. Why this low? Because this is the last down candle of this range that price is currently in. So from here to here, you see that price is also rejecting the 38.20%. So like I said, there is a chance that we could potentially see a push in this week. And we're overall ranging on the monthly, so there is a chance that we could still push higher. There is 6 days left of this candle, so we'll see what happens. But without further ado, let's get into the actual analysis of today. So first things first, I'm going to mark up the 12 a.m. open where price opened, which is right here. I'm going to mark up the previous day's Asian session range, which is right here. Now that we have the Asian session range, we have the 12 a.m. open. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to get the 50% of this Asian range, just like that. And then from here, now I'm going to mark up the previous day's highs and lows. So the previous day's high is all the way up here. It did not get violated. But the one that did is the previous day's low. Why did the previous day's low get violated? Because you got to understand that we were already premeditated to have a bearish day. So what do we know about bearish days? The likelihood of the next candle also following that trend and clearing the previous day's low is going to be far more likely than unlikely. And as you can see, the previous day's high never got traded. As soon as it opened, it immediately went down and never went up to trade towards that high. So now let me show you something even better. Pull the fib from that high from yesterday to this low. Pull it right in here. And if you look at it on the fib, you see that it came right to this 38.20% rejection, where price overall began to fall from there and have that drop. So that's something that happened up there, but I want you to pay attention to where everything is in price wise. So what do I mean by that? Let me show you all these price points. So first we're going to draw, we got 34,200, which is right here. We got 33,800, which is down here. 33,200, which is all the way down here. And then we have 33,500, which is in between here, but we're not going to mark that up just because the fact that it didn't do much. It did have small reactions off of the 500 level, which is right here, but it's not a main area that I would use as a target. And I'll show you guys why in a second. And the last level I'm going to use is going to be the 400 level right here. So these are the main levels. Let me just make them all. Oh, didn't mean to do that. 34,400. Just like that. We got 34,400. We got 34,200. These are all of our big figure levels. We have right here, we have 33,800, 0, and we got 33,200 right here. These are all the big figure levels that price is traded into just in today. So just from today, price has had an overall drop of about 1,300 pips just today, which is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was not expecting a major drop like this. I wasn't even expecting price to be this bearish. Just my personal opinion on it, but neither here nor there. We're going to see what happens. So overall, let's look at what happened during price. Where was the high of the day made? The high of the day was made during 1:30 in the morning, right when price opened. But where was the high made? Pay attention that the high of the day was made above the 12 a.m. open. So we're going to mark that up. The high of the day was actually made right here, right over here. This is the high of the day. But it was made above the open. And did it clear the high? If you pull the Asian session, right, it barely cleared the high. I'm not even going to say clear the high. So we have the high of the day. At what time? 12. This is about 12:15 in the morning. So we got the high of the day at 12:15 a.m. Plus it was above the 12 a.m. open. So that gives a good sign that price had a likelihood of making the high of the day. Why? Because it was a London session move. It wasn't the ideal looking from around 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. That's why I like to see the highs and lows of the day made. But this was at 12:15 and it still ended up being the high of the day. Trade above the 12 a.m. open. Did it tag into any price? Right here, 34,500. That's our last level. There we go. Did not see that one before. 34,500. Tapped into 34,500 above the 12 a.m. during London session, making the high of the day right here. So that's something I want you guys to keep in mind. We had a big figure reaction during a specific time above the open of the day. And from there, look at how price had this move to the downside. First, it targeted the previous day's low. So we're going to have that also. Targeted previous day's low. And then from here, where did we make the low of the day? We ended up making the low of the day at 33,200 after it cleared all of the liquidity from all of these lows. And like I said, all in the daily time frame, cleared all these lows, and it came very close to clearing this low. But then it ended up getting this reaction at the big figure level of 33,200. So we have the low of the day at 33,200, and that's where we had that reaction. So now I'm going to you guys to point to this retracement that we had. Look at how price had this expensive move to the top side. This is why part of the reason why I'm believing price is more than likely going to have a push the end of this week, because this looks like it made the low of the week. So now what we could be potentially anticipating is draw this fib to this high, to this low to this high, and we could be potentially anticipating a possible reaction for price to fall, but that doesn't matter right now. All that matters is seeing what price overall did within the day. So even though not much happened, this overall fell, there's still little areas where you could potentially look to get trades off. Right over here, this is around 8:30 in the morning. This is when price really starts to fall, and around here at 9:15, after we start rejecting 33,800, I was anticipating price to have a potential retracement to at least, I would say, 34,200. But as you can see, price ended up falling and just collapsing throughout the day. So what am I going to do right now? I'm going to draw the schematic. So overall, we had the Asian session range. Then we had this push up during London session, the drop during London session, small retracement during London session right here, early London session, but then continued the drop. And then from there, we had this big retracement all the way to the top. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, we're going to have to do that again. Like I said, we had the Asian session range. London session had that drop to the downside, small retracement, drop, and then from here, we saw price expand all the way to the top side. So this is a sign. This is overall a London continuation, even though it wasn't as clear as you would like. With the London continuation moves, I would have liked to see price maybe potentially had this push up like this, making the high of the day, and then came down and cleared this liquidity. But you're never going to get perfect. So you see, this is an overall example of a clean London continuation to the downside, and the only buy move you would have been looking to potentially catch is down here at around 12 o'clock, because one thing we know about 12 o'clock is we tend to get a lot of reversals, especially on US30. Why? Because I don't know if this is 100% sure, but 12 o'clock is around the time that people go on lunch in the New York Stock Exchange and all that. So that could be a reason why price tends to have those retracements from there. But we have that at 12 p.m. So I want you to keep those times in mind, because these times that price happens, it does this very often. It made the low of the day, having an overall reversal at 12 p.m. That is something you always want to keep in mind, because when you see price coming into a specific big figure level at a specific time, like 12 or maybe early, like 9:30 in the morning, New York Stock Exchange open, or even 2 to 3 in the morning, London session, you know there's a high chance that you're potentially going to be getting a reaction. So even though not much happened today, it was just a big bearish day, you can still learn from what price did. Price overall came down, traded from to and from all these big freak levels, came from 34,500, came down to 34,200, then came down to 33,800, and then if you see right here, if you pull your fib from this, from here, 34,200, this high it made, to this low that it made right here. Why it is high and low? Because this is where you could have potentially got a retracement, not a retracement, but a retracement plus a re-entry. So right here, I'm going to make this the normal continuation fib. Right here, you see that price retraced back to 33,800, retraced back to the 38.20% on the fib you drew from this high to this low. And why did I do it from there? Because this is where price starts to consolidate. And what do we know about consolidation? Consolidation starts to move. This is the consolidation that started this move, and this small consolidation is the one that started this intermediate move in between everything. So right here, we got this retracement. So we had the 38.20% fib short, plus we had the rejection of 33,800. And then we also had, what time was it at? At around 10:30, which is around the London close. At 10 a.m. is the London close. So you had that momentum that you could have been anticipating. And where did price end up targeting? Targeting 33,200, just like that. So this could have been a potential re-entry trade for anyone that would have, say, missed this overall big move to downside. So there's moves within everything. And then from here, this is still not a small move. From 33,800 to 33,200 is about, I would say, 600 points, which is a crazy move, just like this. 605 points would have been easy, and this would have been between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 15-minute candles, which is about I'm gonna say 1 hour and 30 minutes. Not long. 600 pips, you could have made a minimum of $600 just with that small move right there. Even though that's not something I personally would have been looking to take, the way price moves and the same patterns that happen now are going to repeat at different times on different days on different time frames. So that's why I show you guys these specific patterns so you guys can pay attention to them. But on that note, I gave you guys what I'm personally expecting for this week, a little insight. So that's something for you guys to know. So like I said, I'm going to be looking for more bullish moves. I'm only going to be looking to really take buys going into the end of this week, anticipating that this is the low of the week down here that we made based off of the daily candle, just like this. And this is overall what happened with US30 today. We had a very big bearish day, but nonetheless, we're just going to take advantage, use this information to better our trading and better our understanding on price action. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning. So on that note, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you found this video helpful and if I was able to give you an insight on how I personally view the market. And on that note, make sure you stay motivated by the fear of being average, and I'll see you guys in the next video.